Checking autofocus. Alright. Boys, how you going? Hope you're okay. So today we're doing a review of the art project. I just recently submitted the project, so I thought I'd finish out the series showing you guys the end result. And yeah, usually we would have a crit in person at this point, at the end of the semester, but that didn't happen because of COVID. Yeah, I'm just gonna give myself a self-crit today by making this video. So yeah. So the assignment called for us to care. Basically, we were each given a community, a suburb around Glasgow, and we were told to analyze and from our findings propose a master plan that will enhance the area and develop urban strategies to promote a sustainable community and promote social values and demonstrate sustainable connectivity throughout the city. Then design a building that will serve as a symbol for what our ambitions were. So like any other project, the context determines the concept, and our project is located in Botanical, which is a small suburb 20 minutes southeast of Glasgow. You know, I was able to have a walk around the suburb before we went into lockdown in Scotland, and I noticed that there was a lot of brownfields and vacant land, and mostly because it was an industrial powerhouse back in the days. After the decline, the population decreased from 50,000 to 5,000 within a few years. The building typology is severely imbalanced. There's tons of residential buildings towards the east, and more of them being built along the river. Other than that, there are tin sheds, garages, and factories scattered about, but no shops, retail, restaurants, recreational spaces, public attractions, health and lifestyle services. Furthermore, there's only a few buildings left in the area from the old days. A bunch of them had been demolished. So our concept was to address three things. First, building communities by creating social and congregational spaces, providing services that are absent in the current neighborhood, such as recreational spaces, public attractions, essential shops, retail restaurants, everything that you need to sustain a community. What's number two? Number two, we wanted to design spaces that are climate resilient, sustainable, and also help combat climate change. Now, last but not least, preserve the few remaining artifacts around the area to serve as a reminder and adapt it to contemporary uses. So we chose to repurpose the existing red brick cotton mill, and it will serve as a catalyst for future developments in the area. So this is the Delmonic Bay Master Plan. It's split into a few different districts with different building types. The recreational park serves as a central spine that connects the upcoming residential developments in the north and south, and also connects a new master plan with the other side of Delmonic. This is a view of the waterfront promenade. One of the things we considered was proximity of the River Clyde and rising sea levels, so we decided to elevate the promenade to 5 meters at the bottom, which gives you access to the floating riverfront restaurants, and 7 meters at the top. We also designed the drainage systems as part of the landscape. The way the streets are laid out, priority is given to pedestrians and cyclists. This is the site plan. We tried to tie all the axes together to create vistas that lead to the waterfront plaza. There are 2 squares on either side of the building that can be used for art installations and public exhibits. The building that we've been working on is called the Arc, and it is surrounded by a pool of water where part of the drainage in the area converges. From this diagram, you can tell by the scale that it's the main feature of the master plan. We will start by covering the existing cotton mill with a new structure to protect it. We'll have market spaces in the center that sells the crops that are grown in-house. Botanical gardens on the east and west volumes. The north and south compartments houses the offices and factory. The aeroponic farm shelving and workshops are suspended off the trusses. We'll integrate solar panels and piezoelectric technology into the design to harvest renewable energy and supply it to the neighborhood. We included apartment units on the upper corners to promote work-life proximity. And lastly, this building has a plug hole in the center to flush away excess water, such as the ones that are used in reservoirs. This is a ground level view from one of the entrances. We have the market stalls on ground floor made of timber floating above water. Above, we have the suspended aeroponic gardens and workshops. These workshops will be dedicated for public use, such as culinary classes and agricultural education. They would also be used as laboratories and control points for farming operations. This is the ground level plan. The public enters the building in the center of the east and west facade. The apartments are accessed through the 4 vertical cores on either side of the building. The offices and factory for farming operations are accessed from the north and south facade, which lead to the market hall as well. As mentioned before, we also have botanical gardens on either side of the market hall. This view gives us a sense of the market hall atmosphere. These stalls are intended to sell the crops that are grown in-house in the aeroponic farms above. We chose to use timber to create a warm vibe in this heavily industrial building. It is also environmentally friendly. To encourage visitors to linger and chill out, we integrated cafe seating on the roof of the stalls. This axle shows the components of the stalls, fruit and vegetable trading located on the periphery and a kitchen unit in the center. The roof deck can be accessed by a spiral staircase grouped together with a toilet cubicle located in the corner. They can also be accessed through the main vertical access of the market hall, located in the towers of the existing building. This elevation gives us a sense of the activity and interactions. We can also see the red brick of the existing mill juxtaposed with the timber stalls. Beyond that, we can see the silhouettes of the trees from the botanical garden through the voids. This is a view of the cafe seating. We thought it'd be quite an experience to be eating food that was grown directly above you. We elevated the suspended elements 12 meters above the deck to keep an airy and open atmosphere. The aeroponic shelving are made of PVC and steel, and the workshop's a steel frame. The aeroponics had to be wide to maintain the temperature within the containers so it doesn't hinder the growth of the crops. So we painted the workshops in steel bracing white as well for continuity and to add to the light and airy atmosphere. Here we have a part section view of the market stalls, showing some of the structure and activities that goes on here. These are some of the timber joint and furniture details of the market stalls. In the column to beam joint, we have the double beams locked onto each other, tongue and groove style, and secured with pegs and dowels. The solid oak chair is custom made. The seating plate will slide into the bottom plate and they rest on supports that span both ways and are secured into the legs with wooden dowels. We also designed a railing and kitchen cabinetry. This is a view of the center where the plug hole is. Some of the drainage in the master plan will converge here in the market hall and create a water feature as it crashes down to the basement. The basement level will have additional retail areas and parking spaces. We had the idea to add another basement level for a subway station, but didn't have the time to explore that. This is the plan for level 6, where the apartments, workshops, and aeroponic gardens have access. As mentioned earlier, vertical access to the apartments are through the 4 concrete cores. These cores are also shared by the offices. The residents also have access to the market hall through the upper level circulation and vertical access located in the towers of the existing mill. This is a ground level view of the botanical gardens. Here we can see the merge of the new glue lamp structure on the left with the existing red brick cotton mill on the right. We have additional aeroponic gardens on the sides and an upper viewing platform for the public. Just above the gardens we have the apartment units kind of floating in the air. The structure of the units are integrated into the glue lamp structure of the entire building. We decided to clad the apartments and the interior finishes of the building in white corrugated sheeting to create a light and airy atmosphere. This is a planned perspective of the units. It has a floor area of 50 square meters. We decided to keep the design very minimal and use 2 multi-purpose storage units to separate the spaces. The kitchen, lounge, and study is located at the center. The bedroom and toilet are at either ends. Here we have a section perspective through the y-axis of the building. We didn't bother drawing in the people because you wouldn't see them anyways due to the scale of the proposal. It measures 150 meters long, 70 meters wide, and 35 meters high. We have a sawtooth situation going on with the roof to bring in some natural light into the interior. We designed the back of the sawtooth roof facing south so that we can maximize solar gain when we attach solar panels onto them. Based on our calculations, using the 5 kilowatt panel system, we're able to generate around 1 million kilowatt hour of electricity per year. That's more than enough to power the whole building, and we can store the excess energy in batteries that we can supply to the wider neighborhood. And on top of that, we'll be harvesting wind energy with the facade, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is a section perspective through the x-axis, showing the 3 main volumes with the market hall at the center. We hope that the industrial atmosphere is balanced out with the glue lamp structure and creates a unique and cozy place for social congregation. With the design of the workshops, we wanted to express the structure to reinforce the industrial language and pay tribute to the history of the cotton mill. Since it will be suspended off the trusses, it made sense to go with a steel frame as it worked better in tension. The aeroponic gardens are entirely automated. The seed trays will be managed at the workshops and traverse along a conveyor belt to their respective shelf for growing. The The shelves have 2 columns so the trays can rotate, with the newest tray placed at the bottom. When it's ready for harvest, it will go back on the conveyor belt and back to the workshops. The structure of the proposal is pretty straightforward. The new structure is made of glulam. We have a set in the inner ring within the cotton mill that braces against the existing red brick wall, which then also forms the upper level circulation. Then we have a set in the outer ring that holds the roof and facade up. This is a detail of the main glulam column. It gives you an idea of the complexity of the joints and the structure of the upper level platforms. There's a steel plate at the base of the column that connects to a concrete anchor. Moving on to the facade, this is a view of the building envelope by the waterfront. As you can tell, it kind of looks like one of those Russian winter hats, but it's actually composed of thousands of piezoelectric rods that turn mechanical energy into electric energy. This diagram shows how they're attached to the facade. We'll have 2 layers of aluminum panels with CNC'd holes to support the rods. There's a surface gap in between the panels where all the electrical wiring will be placed. Behind that, we'll have a conventional exterior wall. There's a corridor behind the wall that works as a public viewing deck for the Botanical Garden, but also can be used for maintenance access for the piezo facade. The rods will either be a piezoelectric conductor in itself that moves with the breeze, or will have a piezo transducer encased in a flexible lightweight material. There's a layer of structural aluminum tube that fixes the rods in between the 2 aluminum panels. I didn't know how to convey movement in drawing, so just picture in your mind that these rods will flay about in the wind like seaweed in the ocean. Yeah. Now, piezoelectric technology is very underdeveloped and there's not a ton of information you can find online. So if you want to know more about this, you can watch my other videos where I do some case studies on piezo tech. And I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly how much electricity that I will be able to generate with the facade. But hopefully in the coming years there is more research and development in this area, and yeah, hopefully we can integrate this into architecture, because I think it might be a good option for renewable energy, and it might, redefine how we design buildings in the future. So wait, am I looking into the camera? Crap, I'm not. I need to look here. Okay. But yeah, anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one. I'll see you in the next. Cheers.